If you've been holding XRP for a good while, I believe that right now you might be in the absolute best position that we've ever been at. And that's because, as far as I'm concerned, the announcements that have been made over the past couple of days are going to be absolutely game-changing, absolutely game-breaking for XRP in a positive way. And I know people in the comments section will be quick to state, but the XRP price hasn't moved much. Why isn't it moving based on news? And let me tell you one thing. If you've been holding, you already know that most of the plans that have been set forth for XRP take time. But things were set in motion right now that I think will severely expedite the process. And oh boy, take a look at this.
Do I want to pay in euro or dollar?
Yeah.
And I said, okay, dollar. Then I looked at it. I'm still being charged at 3%.
Terrible.
Okay. So, and when you think about all the people who send money, you know, they may work in one country, send money back home. They generally do that through organizations that charge 5 to 10%. Yeah. There is a need, whether it's a Libra or something else, to democratize the exchange of foreign currencies. Today, with computers and electronic market,
there shouldn't be that.
It should be 10 basis points, 5 basis points.
That
it's
makes
not
sense.
percent. And so I actually believe the idea around Libra, I don't think we need to create a new currency, but the technology to instantaneous calibrate all the currencies, that should be done.
Who gets squished by that? Who are the middlemen who are making money on that?
The banks.
You know, we're making, as the Bitcoiners would say, that's progress.
Now that video is from a while ago, and the man who's speaking is Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, the biggest asset managers in the entire world. And you might take his words two ways. One is that an XRP related currency is not necessary as tech progresses. But the other one is that the issue XRP is resolving, which we talk about all the time, is pretty freaking severe. Then again, as I often state, there's a right time and a right place for everything. Bitcoin had its run up. Right now it seems to be Ethereum. And I honestly think, because of what I'm about to show you, that XRP also falls into the bracket of coins that should be popping off right now. Here's the money flowing crypto. We get fiat to Bitcoin, to some large caps like right now, XRP, Ethereum, etc., to some mid caps to low caps as the market progresses. And as I've stated many times, in terms of cycle and where we are in it, I don't believe we're in full bull crazy run just quite yet. It still, I think, will come a few months after the halving, which I'd say is about 6 months from now. The halving not, but I'm talking about the crazy excitement. But just for yourself, take a look at this video.
Advent of Bitcoin ETFs is an example that we're legitimizing it. We're creating more safety.
Well, let me ask you this. Will you do another ETF? How about an XRP ETF? I know you got Ether out there. How about XRP? Can you answer that?
I can't. And you don't want me to.
I do.
Well, I can't.
All right. They're giving me the rap. Thank you.
And to note, there are two very interesting things about his answer. Part number one is I personally believe he cannot talk about an XRP ETF because even though XRP has gotten all the clarity, they're trying to figure it out. Understand that if they were not at all interested, they'd say, no, we're not thinking about it, or no, I haven't thought about it, something like that. The fact he's saying they can't state anything means it's open for discussion. Again, maybe that's me being overanalyzing of sorts. I mean, he, Larry Fink, who's again the CEO of the biggest asset managers in the world, or I should say the biggest asset manager firm in the world, was asked if he thought about where Bitcoin's price could go, and he said, no, haven't thought about it. For him to state now that he can't talk about an XRP ETF, in my opinion, kind of goes along the lines of don't share what you're building up. And we could kind of compare it to where a lot of these major firms like JP Morgan are often stating in media, no, we're negative about crypto. A good example is this. JP Morgan's CEO says Bitcoin has no value and its use cases are, some terrible things. But JP Morgan in the back end is an authorized participant for the BlackRock Bitcoin Spot ETF. And relating it back to Larry Fink, if he were to say we're looking into it, that might arouse too much excitement, too much FOMO, but they're not in that stage where they can confirm it's going to happen. They're just looking into it. Whereas with Ethereum, for example, he already said there's some merit to it, but perhaps because they've been talking about that Ethereum ETF for way longer, Here's, for example, November of last year. But honestly, this is just one of the many examples where we see that BlackRock filed for a lot of these Ethereum-related products already. So the XRP product will be completely new, and thus from that perspective, I would have expected him to either say, can't talk, or no. It would be very strange if we were to say, yeah, we're looking into it, we're trying to get it up. That's not usually how they go about these things. Anyway, the second part was also interesting because, as we know, the man he's speaking with is Charles Gasparino, a Fox reporter that used to be very much inside of the XRP community, sharing things about the Ripple case, etc. But at some point, he kind of turned against XRP very much so, and kind of, I'm not sure how he feels, obviously, I'm not him, but he showed a lot of hatred towards the community, or I should rather say he's not as much loved as he used to be. But perhaps, right, on the opposite side, Larry Fink here is saying that he does not want him to talk about the XRP ETF because our Mr. Charles doesn't like XRP. I mean, otherwise, why would he give that answer? Some people in the comments thought, oh, that must be bad. I don't think so. Then again, just from every perspective, I think Charles is pretty much a savage all the way through. He's a man of some very honest and very straight opinions, which can be funny and sometimes perhaps a bit childish, but hey, he, from what I've read at least for a good while, does not seem to be a big fan of XRP, which makes me more and more excited about that specific interview and about the answers that Larry Fink gave. Now, I could put up an argument here that this is only a small part, as obviously Ripple has been building, the XRP community has been building, and good things are coming up, so it's not a necessity, which I agree with. I think the most important step for XRP is that initial swing that you get when people go from Bitcoin to the massive altcoins, that being Ethereum, XRP, and all these big ones, before the crazy massive bull run picks up, and when the price goes above $1. Because I think at that point, a lot of the excitement will be brought back that should have been brought back the moment that they won the case, but that was suppressed at about 95 cents. I still believe there was a bigger mission behind suppressing the price at 95 cents or below $1 at least. But I do believe the moment that we get above there right now, that this time around, there's going to be, obviously, it's more of a bull market than back in July of 2023. And I just feel as if right now, tech-wise, not that much on the negative scale has changed. So if you liked the product before, it's still quite logical to like it now. Matter of fact, they've been increasing sizably in partners, and more importantly, they got that clarity, which is more important than anything else because they're one of the only currencies to do that, if not the only, to get proper legal clarity by the courts. And so from that perspective, yeah, it's not been shining. And I know that's one of the main reasons I did not buy as much XRP recently as I did the last couple of years. But I will tell you one more thing. If you right now, almost choked on a piece of mango, that'd be a very sad way to go out. And by the way, if you've not pressed the like button yet, make sure you do so right now. I'm gonna give you guys a little piece of my mind that some of you guys might not like. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to hopefully get everybody a layer up. All right. If you're stuck somewhere, I'm just trying to help people out. Not a financial advisor, but I've been here for a good while and I know how to make money. I know how to invest. We know how to trade. We know how to farm the airdrops. We know which cryptos will do well. So why not share the expertise? And here's my number one tip. If you right now have lost money on crypto, I would accept that only if you got in the last week or so. Because if throughout time here, you did not get yourself a juicy average price per coin that you believe in, then I ask you a few questions. Did you not really believe in whatever you are buying? If that's the case, why buy it at all? Or did you spend too much money on your initial purchase to never have much more money to buy afterwards? Also not smart. Now, don't be too sad if you haven't made crazy money in crypto yet. Even though a lot of people tripled their money over the last couple of months and you haven't, don't be sad because the crazy gains have not even come just quite yet. And so, matter of fact, you're still pretty early in this whole bull run debacle. Yes, Bitcoin might have already gone for a pretty meteoric rise, but it always is the first to do so. And I've been saying that for as long as I can remember because it's always the same. But what is also always the same is that people, first of all, underestimate XRP. And I'm not trying to be too much of an advocate for only XRP. I'm just saying a lot of people do underestimate it. And very often people think that this time is going to be different in terms of an altcoin season, in terms of everything going crazy, and they think they're too late. but they're not. At least as of this point. If I make this video in a few months, perhaps it'll be too late, but right now you're not. You're still pretty early. And so the real gains have not been there. Some coins have just popped off earlier. And that's one thing you have to accept. You'll never be able to catch all the gains. There's somebody right now thinking about selling his crypto, but he's not. He thought about buying SUI just before it pumped, just now, for example, but he didn't. And then at some point, he's going to give up. And you know what's going to happen? Exactly that day. The moment he decides to sell everything because he's done not making any gains, everything is going to go up to the prices which he always envisioned over the next few weeks, months, and whatnot. And then the moment he decides to start buying again is when things start crawling back down. The reason I always quote this silver lining from The Intelligent Investor, very nice book, can recommend you guys to read, is because most people seem to forget that the lower prices go, the less risky they get. The higher the prices go, the more risky they get. But because of our logical human psychology, we tend to do the exact opposite, which is, hey, things are going higher. Might be a good time to start buying this asset again. And as things go lower, you think, should probably sell. This ain't too good. And that's a strategy, but it's a different strategy. One is momentum investing. One is value investing. Momentum investing being you see something doing well and you think could do even better. So you buy it to sell it pretty quickly again as you're going with the trend, but you know it's not going to last forever. You're just taking a hot item and you're trying to milk a little bit more sweat out of it. And then the opposite side, you notice this asset, this thing is actually really good, but it's not at the value where it should be or where we expect it to go already. And so you buy it, which might take more time, but usually the gains will be more severe and it's just less risky. Because if you bought XRP throughout time here, let's say you've been around for a couple months, I know the gains have not been as severe as with a lot of other cryptos. But I always tell people the reason I make airdrop videos, the reason I made a trading channel, the reason I made this, that, is also for you. I tell you, the XP price has been going up for an entire year. Yet many people like to point out and state, oh, you see the price went down in this section while a lot of other cryptos went up. It's up 54% in a year. How many cryptos can do that? So you only would have been unlucky if you bought exactly at this little point right here, which is right around when the lawsuit ended, or right in this section right here. But then again, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'd know that if you bought a top like this, you better make sure you buy yourself a bottom. If your average price is like 70 cents per XRP, you really have to go sit down and explain to me how that could be. How could your average price of XRP be more than 50 cents if you've been holding for more than like a couple days? Because even just yesterday, the price was 55 cents. And if you believed in this asset, how did you not buy lower? And some people put up the argument saying, well, I believed in it once and I don't believe in it anymore now. Then sell it, move on. I never hold something I don't think can actually do well. And if I do believe it'll do well, I commit and I keep buying down lower because that's the way to make money. At the end of the day, the most important thing for any investor should always be to not go negative when you cash out, to not realize a loss. It's not bad to be underwater for a little bit, right? I've had it many times that I buy even Bitcoin. The next couple weeks it's down. I'm like, ooh, but it's all part of the strategy because the further it goes down, like just now, I make sure I keep buying, and ultimately I know that if I look back in a few months, it'll have been the best decision. Also, another discussion we could have is, do you prioritize amount of coins or do you prioritize the dollar value there? But that's a different discussion for a different day. For example, my friend bought a Lamborghini with 5 Bitcoin at about, let's say, $350,000. And he was later able to sell it for, again, $350,000 because a lot of these luxury cars stayed the same in value 2 years later. But now he got 15 Bitcoin back. So you might say he made no money in the meantime. I would say he made 10 Bitcoin, which is wild. Because right now the price per Bitcoin is way lower, but that means you just got a way better deal, obviously. Yet some people would like to argue that that's not the case. And that's where everything, all these little thought processes, all these little streams co-align, where if you, and this is something you have to hold really close to heart, if you don't truly believe in something, see it as a short-term thing. I find it really hard to hold something for a very long time that I don't really think would do well. Why would I do it? Why would I hold it then? What's the point? For short terms, I personally think, again, it's better to buy something that already has the crazy momentum. If, again, it's something I don't really believe in, but I just want to catch the gains, the hype, the excitement. You don't buy something that's not got the excitement for a very short term. It doesn't make sense. If you're buying something for the long term, I commit. Make sure I buy my way down lower. And even now, where I can obviously agree that XRP hasn't got crazy excitement for a while. I'm lucky my XRP price, average price, is so low from buying throughout time and committing, which means if I decide to give up now, I'd be a crazy amounts of profit because we've been making videos for so freaking long, guys. I've been making videos about XRP when it was right here, right at this top, right at this bottom, everywhere throughout. And I often said that if you've been watching the channel for a couple years and your XRP average price is above like 20 cents, you messed up. Right now, I have to change that though and say, you can see where the biggest dip was, right? Right back here in June of 2022. If you bought anywhere before that, and right now you're not in massive amounts of profit, you've not like gotten at least 50% gains on your money, you've been playing a strange game. But even if you joined a little bit later, if you joined anywhere at the start of 2023, the first quarter, or even here in May, it's hard to be at a loss right now. And I think for the most part, it's just either under commitment, which means you don't commit to a set strategy, or you just have a rolling DCA, which could be, for example, that you buy $5 every single day. I'm going to make a video about that, about how well that works for most of the cryptos. If you were to buy $5 every single day, instead of picking, a couple of different points a month to buy, for example. But with XRP, you might have gotten unlucky. Then again, looking at it, if you did that for all this year, just buy every single day, for example, I don't think there's a chance that right now you'd be down, because for more of these days, by far, the price would have been way lower than the 57 cents, which is at right now. But that kind of depends on when you started. You might have gotten slightly unlucky. Then again, I personally don't think that we can stay this unlucky for too long. And if you're watching this video thinking, I'm about to give up, I'll tell you right now that nobody's stopping you. Some people think I'm the XRP king, that I only want the best for XRP, not any other crypto. Or some people marry their bags too much and they only want to commit to one crypto. Please understand that no crypto necessarily will perform the best. You don't know up front which one is going to survive throughout all the ages. So that's why you mitigate risk. That's why you spread out your investments. That's why you never stick to one thing. If you're not the one making it, you better, or you don't have control over it, you better make sure you're not holding one thing, because it's always somebody else deciding. And what if that guy gets cuckoo in the brain? Because one guy got cuckoo, you could lose everything. You don't want to have that. Always spread your risk around. But from the position that we're in, what is my plan? Well, luckily my average price is already pretty low. If I was somebody else and I committed to XRP a while back, knowing that a bull market is about to ensue, I know that this asset, in my opinion, will at least make gains from where it is right now. And so the only thing I have to think about is, would I rather commit to making sure that whatever money I have right now on XRP is going to be able to be cashed out profitably? Again, personally, I still think it'll do extremely well in the bull run, but that's, again, my own personal opinion. I speak for a lot of people right now that are less certain. I don't want to give you any false hope. Let's always stay as realistic as possible, because I want you guys to make millions of dollars, not just cash out $10. So even though I think it will do exceedingly well, if you've not got the patience or you're just done, you want to go for something else, I personally couldn't do it. I couldn't sell everything because I've committed for too long. Again, you might think about sunk cost bias, whereas you shouldn't think about how much you put in. You should just think about how much you can pull out to invest in something else, yada, yada, yada. I don't have that. Again, I'm a human being. We make calculated decisions all the time. And my calculated decisions were, I commit partially with my investment to this asset. I'll get my average price as low as possible because I know it'll make me money. Thus far, it's been truthful. And I do believe it'll continue on to do like that. Where do I see the price going? Honestly, the honest truth, right? For me as a person, I don't really mind where it goes, because I already have sizable investments that whatever the price goes, it doesn't matter that much to me, as I do believe every single asset that you're seeing in front of you right now will go up by a ton. So it's just finding the right one at the right time to gain you the most. And I think XRP out of most of these is still as one of the most undervalued ones. Doesn't mean it will perform the best, but still. So it's still good for me to hold as a massive moon potential. And with the that's what the whole video was about. With the XRP ETFs and Ethereum ETFs coming up, I believe that right now the value proposition has gotten so much more juicy that it's worth even more to just get my average price as low as possible, because if these institutions are coming in, there's going to be crazy amounts of FOMO. And that's on top of just the coin itself getting FOMO as the market picks up. And I think that dollar price point is going to ignite some massive rallies. And I do believe that if the coin goes, it'll end this run above $10. I personally think it could go even higher. $12 is not even that crazy, but that's my own opinion. And for the most part, that's what I'm holding on. I've not sold a single XRP, and I don't plan to. I plan to ride it down with the SHIB. It either goes to zero or it goes to billions. But yeah, that's my opinion. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you go ahead and press that like button. If you want to see more crypto updates or more crypto tips and tricks and cool stuff, make sure you press the notification bell on, because we sometimes go live whenever crazy things happen. And if you're not notified, you might miss out. You can always skip the video. That's what I always say. But at least make sure you're notified. And that's about it.